back in, everybody. It's our final game of the day. ARIAL Rise taking on CHAWK. We just saw CHAWK play, and they lost a little bit of a heartbreaker on Cafe. And now this Group B is starting to get a little bit interesting. Thrive advanced to 2-0. Both of these teams own 1, so a chance to go to the middle of the pack. If you go 0-2, you can pretty much kind of kiss top 3 goodbye. I would imagine maybe you can pull it back. I mean, ARIAL does have a good team, so if they were to lose this, maybe they can find a way back in. But they're still kind of trying to figure out this new roster at the beginning of XGS.
Yeah, it really is. And this is probably CHAWK's best opportunity to catch ARIAL Rise off guard. Go to ARIAL Rise, see what players we are losing. Probably their entire team. I mean, Poison is the definition of a system player. We saw Valino play yesterday when they lost 7-4 on Clubhouse, and now we're seeing a new player come in, Epic, getting his call to the upper team. I'm very excited. I love Epic as a player. He's probably, in my opinion, one of the best up-and-coming fraggers, more, I guess you could say, flex players. But again, it's just replacing a player like Mr. P, Poison. It is very difficult, especially a change that seemed very quick and sudden. It definitely has hit ARIAL Rise hard.
Yeah, now you gotta worry about, like, all right, who's gonna step up in his place? Epic, Valeno are being swapped around, and it seems like ARIAL is kind of struggling in that sense. Kuru is who I really have my eyes on. He seems to always be the difference maker for ARIAL. But as we go ahead and take a look at CHAWK, well, you did just see them, so nothing really standing out too much. But I think the biggest takeaway for us when we were watching them is it was always like a different person that was going big. Gekyu did lead the line, but we saw Zur make some plays. Safehold was also getting involved. So I think this team does have potential, and different players can pop up in different moments. But and that was a Thrive team that looked really good against Karnenko yesterday on that map. So who knows? CHAWK could be like a sleeper team in this tournament.
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think they are definitely one of the dark horses because you don't exactly know what to expect of them. This is a team, a roster that is newly formed. Gekyu especially just playing in a different team, I believe, all the way in BGS playoffs, and eventually leaving that team. So it's been kind of, you know, a question mark. This is essentially a bug stack, not being under a org or anything like that. Andrew, if you can hear us, we cannot see the maps. But again,
no. What maps are we
no
on?
maps. We're just drowning in space endlessly. There we go. There's the band phase. Are we seeing it?
Wait, what?
Are we going to see it? Hold on.
CHAWK it. It's
Again?
CHAWK. It's CHAWK that's doing this. All right, they get a chance at redemption here on Cafe. Wait,
Okay,
what?
it's border.
Oh, those are the last. Okay, wait.
Clubhouse.
Club.
We don't know.
Club.
We don't know.
I'm going to the source. I'm going to the source.
It's Cafe. It's Cafe.
I believe it's Cafe. Yeah.
Okay, it's gonna be Cafe. That makes sense. That's very understandable. And
yeah, Cafe.
If I believe so, bans were done before CHAWK played Cafe. So our theory we had last game of CHAWK purposely bringing themselves to Cafe, or it's Clubhouse. I apologize.
Did I say Cafe?
Okay, it's Clubhouse.
Wait, I think I meant to say club, but in my brain, I'm just thinking.
It's all right.
I'm thinking
yeah.
club.
Again,
Club.
This
club
is CHAWK bringing their opponents to a map they've played before. This time around, it's going to be a very different scoreline for ARIAL Rise, losing it 7-4. But I like this from CHAWK. Not only is it an even map, but it's a map that ARIAL Rise had difficulty on.
Well, yeah, I mean, ARIAL, they've got to figure out some things, and now I think the mentality is starting to becoming a factor for this team in CHAWK. What it's going to look like, you're able to shake that last one off. We did see some tech pauses throughout that last game. I'm not sure if tech issues are coming into play and how that's also affecting maybe the mental side of this team, but it also might benefit ARIAL Rise. They just watched them too, so they might have a little bit of an understanding on, like, okay, they play slow, or they have this type of defense. I'm not sure. I gotta ask you, Goose, as we head into this one, who are you kind of favoring for this matchup?
I don't know, and
I don't. That's why I asked you.
yeah, and I will say this: I do believe with just simply the caliber of players we have on Aerial Rise, especially bringing in a player like Epic, which traditionally plays that entry flex role. So again, a lot of questions. The biggest thing for Aerial Rise is they don't have an identity. They don't have a system to play with. They are not only figuring out how to play with new players, they're figuring out how do we play as a team. I believe my safe opinion would be that Snake is going to be a majority of the shot calling, but I believe a lot of these players have capabilities to shot call to lead a team in some aspects. So I think we will perhaps maybe see more of a fluid shot call system, more like a Cloud9 that now in the NAL, or previously Beast Coast, which again with a player like Snake could actually do absolutely wonders.
And I'm curious, what is Epic's position going to be on this team? Valeno's not going to be playing today. Is there going to be any sort of adjustment in that one? Wildcard Aces, they got it done on this map. They won a lot of attacks as well. So what is Aerial Rise's defense going to be looking like this time around as well?
Yeah, and I think, going back, and I was very surprised to see that Aerial Rise lost. And, again, I talked about that right now, not only is Aerial Rise simply just trying to find anything, it does really feel like Aerial Rise is very similar to a lot of teams, not exactly like word for word like Sonic's, but in a sense where you have a lot of players who play that traditional flex entry role, which can either do absolute wonders or can eventually leave to the team completely dismantling, especially when you don't have that head honcho, the backbone of a team like Mr. P there to lead them. It's going to be the definition of a question mark, but I do think, especially after a map like Cafe that CHAWK had, this is going to be not only but the perfect opportunity to upset Aerial Rise. Mr. P's gone. You don't need to ban Monty.
Yeah, that's for sure.
He's gone.
Well, in Element 3, Aerial Rise did not have a good time there, finishing 9 through 10 in that. And then they had that loss against Fluffy Aimers in Blitz Gaming Series, and Fluffy looked very dominant in that one. And then that's when we saw, after that, Poison decide that he's going to call it there. And we're going to see a Cade ban as well for our final one. It feels like Aerial Rise is trying to adjust and figure out their footing in this. And they obviously have pop-off. They had big wins in BGS. So there's something here at this team. They just got to find the right key for this lock.
Yeah, and I think, I gave props to Epic. I think he's just one of those players where if you slot him onto a team, no matter what system they run, he can immediately have effects. He can immediately affect every single player, every single component of the team. And if we go and look on his operator, being Goyo, again, falls into that exact same role of being flex entry, really play on any role. And that's exactly what Aerial Rise needs, not only just in this game, but in this kind of figuring out phase, trying to not only find the right player to permanently be on the team, but also find a new system. And that's exactly what they're going to do. Snake will add to that with his experience from TSM, but experience can only get you so far.
5 seconds remaining.
Aerial Rise on the defense, CHAWK it on the attack as we begin our final game of the night here on day 2 of XGS. CHAWK it coming off of the loss, and they forget that hiccup in their series and just continue to go through on to the next one. Aerial Rise, they've got to do a bit of the same after their loss yesterday to Wildcard Aces, and they're back on that same map that they played. They had a poor defense, and they're going to be beginning on that defense, so let's see. We're going to be finding out very early if they've made those adjustments.
Yeah, Snake has, in a way, been a pioneer of the new recruit rework. If you're going to see a player on Aerial Rise play this new recruit, especially on defense out of both sides, it's most likely going to be Snake because I mean he is just the defined flex player. He is really one of those players that really came in with that 2022-2023 era of Siege where the flexible player, the flexible playstyle of an entire team really came in. And that's why you're seeing him on this recruit specifically. And as of now, Arrow Rise playing a very bunkered defense, giving a lot of respect, giving a lot of control to CHAWK. And right now, they have complete control of the two bomb floors and simply going to be up to their decisions executing onto the site itself.
I think it's very interesting that CHAWK don't have a ram or a buck to get any vertical play. They have both the Grimby and they've got the Capital as well, so they can really start zoning people out. So that seems to be the focus of trying to debunker this setup for Aerial Rise. But a minute 20 on the clock, and we are yet to see any meaningful progress from CHAWK. They've got some of these hatches open, but hold on, just as I say that, Gekyu continues his form from that last map and gets on to Kiru, and now is there an opportunity to get into this one? Inuriel, however, is going to bounce back. That's HUD who drops. You've lost the Grim. I don't even know if they use any bees, and wow. Right on through the tunnel. Come from safe hold, and CHAWK now have the lead in the kills. 50 seconds on the clock. Aerial Rise is still waiting ever so patiently. CHAWK, they've been slow on their attacks, and they're looking a little slower this time around. Snake on that nice angle on the striker gets the shots to go. Here comes the push. Schmink is going to drop the hatch as the smokes are being popped. He's going to go straight for the diffuser as well. Brios is trying to fly. He's worried about the hatch from above, but there's so much to look at. Gekyu, he's going to get another. He now has two. He's on for a quad if he can get the rest. The Snake shuts him down. The diffuser goes down, however. There's not a lot of HP for a lot of these players. It's Epic who has the most. Actually, no, I lied. Safehold has some HP. And he is anywhere near really. He's made the rotation. Can he deny from above? Snake is going to watch. He's trying to make vertical play to get a better angle about where this player is. But it's quick feet coming in from Safehold. He is just roaming around on Kitchen. He has to also be quiet because if they can hear his footsteps, they'll shoot him. Here comes the challenge, and a great cover play from the new player. Epic gets the shots, and it's Aerial Rise who start off strong on the defense. Excuse me.
That was a very scary round for Aerial Rise. I mean, you could tell that they weren't confident in playing that round, and because they gave so much respect so early on, it allowed CHAWK to just get as many opportunities as possible. And as we just saw in Cafe, on attack CHAWK, if you give them time, they will eat up every single second. And speaking of time, just that Capital from Schmeek cutting off that player in dirt, 100 IQ, probably so one of the best plays I've actually seen a while in T3. Just really props to him in that situation. But eventually, it was Snake in paired with Epic, the new head honcho, the rookie for Aerial Rise, to come in and shine in that last round. But it's just one kill. It's not going to affect a whole lot. Still have yet to see what he can really do for this team.
And I love the thrust from Snake to allow Epic to give him that coverage on the use. Big round from Aerial Rise. But still, they've got some work to do. And I'm curious, because it's interesting now, this kind of clubhouse meta slash rankings, I guess you could say. So Wildcard Aces beat Aerial Rise on this map yesterday. Wildcard then loses to 774 today. And now we have another rendition of this map here in Group B. This time with CHAWK now entering to the mix. If Aerial Rise were to win this, it would really make it kind of semi-difficult to gauge like who is the best team in Group B at this map. But anyways, Aerial Rise has that one defensive round, and now CHAWK. This is not what they had last time around. They went off to a great start in their first series. Now they're the ones on the back foot in this.
Zerosa having a little bit of trouble over in this Raptors position. Wasted quite a little bit of time. And CHAWK, they haven't been able to push out Kiru and Brios out of this cash position, even being backed up by Epic, having a really good hold here. But CHAWK, they're starting to converge onto this construction position. And if they're not careful, Aerial Rise, if they rotate back to the site too late, Chalk it, they could have those attacking positions, those crossfires set up to cut them off and shut them down. Chalk it again, giving themselves so many opportunities, so many lines of sight to play with on this attack.
Attackers drop the diffuser.
Maverick's patiently waiting at Uzi wall. That's safe hold. And as soon as he opens, they might be able to find his feet. Oh my goodness, he got away just in time. He's gonna go for the rest of the wall as well. And now Snake knows that something's happening. Still yet to see any kills. That's typical Chalk It style. They play a very slow offense, as we've discovered today. Still, there's a huge focus on getting this wall open. Safe hold is going to work. Now we are entering double digits.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
Not a lot of progress made in this building. Aerial Rise is just slowing them down.
I believe it's soft. Oh, yep, it is. It's going to be soft. So they're going to be able to open this wall. But the problem is, because it's so small and you don't have the left side open, it essentially does limit the positions. And it does give Aerial Rise somewhat of an advantage because you can eliminate where they're going to be coming from. You're not going to have that line of sight over into the doorway. And Chalk It, they have so much to work with, but they haven't been able to find a way in anywhere close to the site.
Well, they've got to just do something at this point. Is the Capcal going to start to come into factor? They're going to smoke somebody and fire somebody and let all the elements come to fruition. But it's Schmink who's losing his life. There's 2 kills going to go the way of Aerial Rise, and now it's a 3v2, 2v2. Kills are going each way, but it's actually Enrio. His teammate's knocked, and he only has 2 HP. So Chalk It's in a good position, but there's 5 seconds on the clock. The time might be a factor. Gekyu has to play his life. Or, excuse me, he actually has to go and find Enrio. Enrio has to play his life. And now he hears the defuse. What a clutch from Enrio. The clock, too big of a factor despite the kills. And just not a great option for Gekyu. He either had to go for the plant or for the kill, but he didn't know where that player was. Aerial Rise, great start on the defense here, and now they have a chance for the triple.
It is really. I'm curious to see a team that is essentially a pug stack. Sure, they are very familiar with each other. They played with each other on teams previously, but to have a team formed in the span of a week have such a solidified identity and how they play on the attack is relatively unseen in the amateur scene. So far, has not worked out. They have had some success dwindling it all the way from a very bad position into a 2v2, but because they left so little time on the clock, Enrio was able to just dwindle it down, put himself in essentially what was a 1v1, and force that player to plant. And it is a playstyle that we've been seeing throughout these past 4 years, been challenged by this very aggressive flex playstyle that's been introduced to Siege. We see teams like DZ still trying to hold and play it, and we've seen some success. But the problem with it is it's very 50-50, because if you don't lose, or rather, if you don't win those gunfights in that last 30 seconds, that execution that you took all that time utility set up, that's the entire round gone.
Aerial Rise, they weren't so great on defense, but it's a new day. It's a new dawn. And they look like they've figured out the answer. Whoa, Snake. He's been doing well so far, and now he is looking to find somebody. Where? But no, it looks like nothing's going to happen. Enrio is also the other name that's grabbing the headlines. He's got 5 kills to his name. And Gekyu is continuing to do what he did in that last game, but it just seems like Chalk is... they seem a little bit flustered. It might be from that last map.
Yeah, I mean, Aerial Rise also just having a really good hold, especially in that last 30 seconds. That does really seem to be where they have their progress, have their success. They're able to play in those very high tense situations where you have to think on the fly and you can't make a whole lot of mistakes. And again, just like Chalk It did to their opponents last game, it really feels like they're playing into the exact play style that favors Aerial Rise.
Looks like Chalk It's found somebody with this drone. And yeah, Kiro, he is going to fall. They knew somebody was on the first floor. But do they know where Snake is? Here comes the first Dokkaebi call. But it's too late. Gekyu is going to fall. Snake finally leaves over towards Strip. And now it's in favor of the offense. But Snake might be a little bit cut off from the site. I'm not sure if CHAWK is going to worry about him or if they're going to go towards site, but Snake is disconnected from the rest of his team. So there's 2 players on site. Snake on his lonesome, and it looks like CHAWK is going to just try and get control of site and leave Snake on the flank.
If you look at this overall lineup, the majority of the focus for CHAWK is going to be over by this construction. The only player, and he's just in sight?
They're just in sight, I guess. CHAWK is just all of a sudden in there like swimwear. Snake is now the last player remaining after his trip around the map. The diffuser goes down, but he has made it a little bit more doable. Schmink and Safehold are the last players remaining. CHAWK grabbed the round, and it seems like that roam from Snake seemed to be the wrong call, but CHAWK just walked into site for free. I mean, all of a sudden, there's a player on that server rack, and it's like, wait, what's going on?
And it really comes down to CHAWK, even though they give themselves as many avenues into the map, into the bomb site, at the end of the round, they dwindle their overall win condition to winning the gunfights in the last 30 seconds. It's not like if you don't kill a player in the early game, you don't got to worry about it because they don't really put themselves in those very heavy, aggressive entry positions to get those picks early. They play back, they drone out, they use their attacking utility, rather, to push back those defenders closer to the site. And the question is, if that buck didn't, or if the buck wasn't able to win the gunfights over running through single wall and construction, would they have been able to win the round? It's why their entire win condition is essentially 50-50, because if that buck is dead, your entire strat, your entire opening into the bomb site is gone. There was nothing there. A buck opened up not the entire bomb site, but the entire round for them.
Attackers must locate and defuse a bomb.
An opportunity for ARIAL to go 3-0 goes a waste. And surely they know that Snake likes to do silly shenanigans, spawn checks like this. And you've got to check over towards Strip. It's the Maverick who is over here, but looks like Snake is going to set up at a different position, and no avail is going to find anything. But looking at the operator, Snake is going to go back onto the Sentry. He was able to make some plays earlier in this one on that operator, so maybe he can do so again, but him and ARIAL have just been a 1-2 combo.
Snake reading the room very well. He's going to push out of that position, eliminating that line of sight they could have potentially had him in that hallway. And for now, aside from Snake still residing on these bottom stairs, trying to potentially catch a CHAWK player off guard, they have complete control of these top 2 floors yet again with an entire 2 minutes to play with. CHAWK, they have everything in their favor. There's a little bit of a playground. They can get these hatches open. They can open up every avenue, use as many drones as possible. This is exactly what we saw last time they came to this map. And it's simply, again, going to come down their entire win condition to executing onto the site.
CHAWK, they're getting a lot of control from up above. They've got the Ram and the Buck this time around, and they can see so much onto what's happening over towards this site. You would imagine that that's going to be a hatch drop very soon. They have the Capital for smokes to watch that guy, or excuse me, get that guy off, which is Kiru, to not allow him to stop anything from happening. But there's no kills just yet. CHAWK has done a lot of work, but when is the action really going to happen? They've also got some main stairs control. They don't find anyone in blue. On the clock, it looks like they're going to begin and execute. There's multiple stuns being thrown, but Brios does find the first kill. That's Safehold. He's going to fall. ARIAL rise. They're still sitting in this bunker, awaiting the push, the march, the charge that will come in. HUD. Does he find anything through these holes that he has now created? He knows something's happening, and he's going to go right back to the wall and says, all right, let me try this again. But, he's going to drop, and Snake will get the kill. Gekyu is going to snap back and make it still manageable here for CHAWK. 20 seconds on the clock. Once again, they've got to make a move. They've got to go. They're just too slow coming in from the attack. ARIAL Rise this time around has the numbers. Zer finds one. Zer finds another. Gekyu is still alongside him. It's now a 2v2, but the diffuser is not in hand. Zer finds another. This dude's activating. Kiru now in a 1v2. Can he do it? The diffuser's going down. He gets the 1 kill. Oh, Kiru clutches. What the heck is a Kiru? Massive clutch over towards blue. And pure chaos erupts, and it looked like CHAWK found a way back into it, but no, Kiru shuts that one down. And it's still advantage, Ariel Arise.
Welcome to Goose's Siege School. I'm gonna tell you, CHAWK lost that round. An entire 2 minutes under their belt to work the hatches, drone out the positions of the on-site defenders, but because you let every single one of those defenders fall back down to site and you didn't put enough emphasis on clearing out those players before you attacked onto site, not only were they able to set up crosses with a full 5-man count, they were able to control their C4s, the smokes on smoke. And because of that, when they actually attacked onto site, not only was there a plethora of defender utility to deny it, but CHAWK tried to work those on-site positions. For example, the Maverick, with 40 to 30 seconds left, eventually putting Kiru in a 1v2 where CHAWK were forced to put the bomb down because they had absolutely no time in their pocket, even though they had complete top 2 floor control with 2 minutes left. And that's why Ariel Arise beat CHAWK in that last round.
And Kiru. Kiru did a good clutch. Don't forget that. But no, yeah, I mean, it seems like the drone play in that last bit, there's some sort of hesitancy to make that execute, but they had hatches. They were able to get people back down towards site, and the Maverick, when they bring the Maverick out, it really slows them down because they try to get all those cute angles, really work those walls. We've seen it on second floor when they try to get Jacuzzi. But look at this. I think they might have heard us. This could be a potential different look / faster attack. Geku is now on the blitz, so we're going to be seeing a different look on this attack.
And relatively exactly the same, the tempo. They're going to get this single wall open over in Raptors, but Snake, he's ready for the position. He's making sure he meets these CHAWK players at the forefront of this extended hold into Cash and CC. A buck below, they're ringing at the door, but Brios is there to stop one.
4v4. Brios has fallen. Schmink is trying to get control of Cash, but this Ariel Rise defense is playing much more aggressive and not letting CHAWK have anything for free. Safehold does find a kill, however, and that's going to give advantage to the offense. Epic has to back down, and now Construction's going to be given up, so CHAWK's going to take their space. But Kiru is still kind of poking towards it, but now he has been called back to site. CHAWK have kind of expended everything. Well, not everything, but all of their players are over towards this site. And now we're going to see Safehold, I think, make a rotation. The C4 comes down from below. Maybe he can get a call out from a teammate when somebody enters Logi through the hatch. And now they're going to also get control of the Jacuzzi wall. And here comes a swing on the rappel is HUD. And CHAWK now is up to a 4v2 life count. There's a minute on the clock, so this is a great round for CHAWK to win. Epic and Kiru. They're holding slowly, but CHAWK, they just have to start making through. Are there any drones for the side? Yeah, they've got 5 drones still to use here, so there should be some sort of information coming through on where these players are. They have to know where Epic is, but where is Kiru would be the other question. He's kind of hanging out towards Logi, but does CHAWK know it? 30 seconds now on the clock. HUD's playing slow. He's baiting. He's worried about this mirror window, but there comes the stuns. Epic can't see a dang thing. And Kiru now, he's going to get a kill, but he's the last player remaining. Great execute coming in from CHAWK. Schmink is going to get the diffuser down. No, but the kill comes through. 3-2 CHAWK. They're hanging on. They're just keeping themselves within reach of Ariel.
CHAWK, a relatively completely different round if you looked at that. For the very first time on their attack, and that time around, they were essentially forced to work that offsite position, get those picks early on. And because they were able to put themselves in a very favorable 4v2, even with all that intel, all that time, 50 seconds left, they still dwindled it down to that last 30 to 20 seconds. But because they had such a strong man advantage, that allowed for a little bit of a lesser strong crossfire. Only 2 players compared to 4 to 5 is going to be a lot easier to deal with if you're an attack going onto a bomb site. They were able to essentially isolate those last 2 players, force them into 1v4s, and able to shut out the round. Exactly what I said they needed to do in the round previously, even though that time they were forced to address that cash position a little bit earlier on. Aerial Rise, for what is going to be their last defensive hold in regulation, going back to the exact same bomb site, saying that they like what they brought last time. They just played a little bit of those situational gunfights poorly.
Yeah, CHAWK got cash for free a little bit. Kind of ironic, I guess you could say. I don't know. How much are they going to extend this time in there? And I feel like you don't really need to play an aggressive defense against CHAWK. You can kind of sit back because they take very long time before they execute. So it doesn't. When you extend your defense to time waste, and CHAWK kind of does that for free. So I don't know. I don't really agree with this super extensive defense, but oh well, Snake is gonna make me eat my words and find the pick onto Zur. And Aerial Rise already has a leg up. And I'm curious, Goose, what you think about that. CHAWK, they have those slow offenses. Do you always need to play aggressive when you have such a slow team like CHAWK?
It's not in their play style. They're really just not setting themselves up to be that aggressive, to really meet Aerial Rise at these entry points of the map, at these extended holds early on. And because of that, you've allowed Snake to get not only this early pick, but you're not prepared to trade it. And Snake has read into that absolutely perfectly and been able to essentially stop this entire attacking plan. You see at the overall outlines of CHAWK players, they've just vacated that cash position. They're not even going to attempt to get it. They're going to instead, for now at least, put their focus on to getting this jacuzzi wall open, potentially maybe find a different avenue, work these windows over by the bomb sites, trying to get anything that they favorably have right now.
Bathroom is about to become such a big pressure point. There's a Dokkaebi call. EMPs are being thrown out. CHAWK, it looks like they have an execute ready to go, and there's still a minute left on the clock. Rios is sandwiched in gym. I believe he's worried about maybe there being a cutoff on the player on window or the player on jacuzzi hatch. So he's forced to stay in the gym. Never thought you'd be saying that about a gamer. Here comes the last Dokkaebi call coming through. CHAWK, they've got rid of that main wall on jacuzzi. Rios still sits there, yeah, and his worries of somebody being on that site window are coming to fruition, but he just shuts him down. Safehold drops as well. The C4 is going to close that kill out, and it looks like CHAWK, I don't think they're going to have a way back into this. This should be a 4-2 half, unless the unthinkable happens. Schmink and HUD, last players remaining. There's 20 seconds left as well on the clock. Leave it now. All down to HUD. They know where he is on the site window. You can see the guy rotating server. Here comes the Chow. Kuru secures the flawless round for Aerial Rise, as well as a 4-2 half. I think that's a very traditional standard half. But Aerial Rise did look pretty good. CHAWK, it was a little slow.
Yeah, I mean, slow on purpose is definitely a theory of Siege that has had some mixed results in the past and is going to continue to have mixed results. Going down 2-4 is what you would expect on Clubhouse, and they played Clubhouse like it's 2020, which is not exactly what I think was the best option. But nonetheless, we saw that they had plenty of success on Cafe. Not all of it's going to translate onto their attack, though, but they're going to be able to fall back down to the defense. They're going to go all the way down to the basement, and hopefully they're going to see if they can start to pull back here in the second half of the game. Aerial Rise, we talked a whole lot about Epic being a brand new player, a tryout essentially. This match is acting for him. But it's actually Snake who's had the most effect on them in general. Epic will still be playing onto that flex role, being playing just simply trying to get that intel on the Grim. But for now, it's going to be Snake that's going to be the main name for Aerial Rise.
A lot on a line for both of these teams, folks. Both of them sitting at 0-1 here on day 2 in Group B. A win would be such a huge sigh of relief to give you a little bit less to worry about as we advance through this Season 7 CHAWK it is on the back foot. Can they maybe show something on their turn on the defense? And Zur is really the only one being aggressive, unless if I've missed something. I don't know if anyone else is really roaming. Gekyu is also on first floor over towards garage. Oh, wait. Actually, Smink is on second floor, so it looks like CHAWK is going to be pretty aggressive here on their defense and try to take it to aerial rise. Not very characteristic of what we saw on their offense.
Smink is going to be playing in a completely isolated position. He's here simply to play spoilers
Oh my gosh.
on the head of the player. It's safe to get the very first opening pick.
4v4 now. Those are going to go back way, and Schmeek is going to be found out. So now it's going to be a bunker. That's great work from Aerial Rise. Oh, but you did lose your Hibana. Did the hatches get popped open? Nonetheless, Aerial Rise has numbers. They have time. They seem to be still worried about players that are potentially roaming. HUD is in towards Secret. But he has an easier retreat towards basement if need be. Yeah, and he's going to go ahead and use that. That's one hatch pop. Oh, boy. And if he rotated maybe a second later, he might have dropped as players were just rushing towards that hatch to maybe look down at as it was being popped. But he is going to be able to escape. It looks like nobody's going to be able to rotate over towards Secret, so it's going to be everyone is stuck down towards basement.
We're simply going to be working this utility, trying to push him out of this position, and he is able to escape away with his life. The smoke canisters will ring out. A minute left on the clock. This is exactly what Aerial Rise wanted. They want to waste this defender utility early on so they don't have to worry about it in the execution. And Snake continues to go big in this round.
All down to the Wamai and the smoke and HUD. He might try to get aggressive with that shotgun on the main stairs. 40 seconds on the clock. Aerial Rise in the driving seat on the first round of defense for CHAWK. Here comes HUD. This would be a huge late play. There's a shotgun. And now he might have given his team a way back in this one. And Zur's also helping out. Zur popping off in the background. And HUD cleans up. What in the world?
Wow.
And in the blink of an eye, CHAWK, they snapped the 4v2 lead into a 2 kill live advantage. I mean, 2-0. Yeah, in a round win. 4-3 is our new score. And that looked like it should have been an aerial win.
That was a frustrating Aerial Rise round. Just having everything in their favor, having so much success clearing out those players, putting themselves into a 4v2 position, but simply not having that extra added intel, the awareness of the positions, most specifically of HUD on those stairs creeping his way up. Not only was he able to shut down, but every other player on Aerial Rise that made their way into the bomb site died to a player they were unaware of. A lack of intel, especially in that last round, absolutely punished them, and they're going to feel it. Now, they're going to have to be attacking into a bomb site they're very familiar with, going all the way over to gym and master bedroom.
I mean, Zur, what HUD pushes up those main stairs, right? And it puts Zur kind of into a 1v3. And he's able to get 2, and then HUD comes back in to help support and clean up that last one. I don't know what their drone situation looked like. They could have had a drone on stairs, so they knew if somebody tried to push, like HUD did there. And they obviously didn't know where the other player was as well, so a lack of preparation from Aerial Rise benefits CHAWK on that basement defense as there's some late heroics in that round. And it seems like there's not as much roam presence as we saw on that last round. There once again is that hold over towards server. And the main wall is going to be popped, and Zura's going to be that first line of defense.
He continues to play these very important and aggressive roles. Look at all of that utility with the beeper paired with the Wamai discs, but it's epic to take out HUD, such an important player, not only on the scoreboard, but also all of that is zombie utility, all of her Kiba barriers now can be unused. On top of that, Gekyu in a very comfortable position for now, but if you look at the side, it's relatively soft. Aerial Rise, if they could identify this, they could either push back the players, but it's going to be Smink to answer back on Akiru.
Smink identifies where the kills are. Zura's going to help out, and now can Smink get the... Whoa! Oh, I thought he got a flick there. Actually, no, he did it. Boy, oh boy, the kill feed had me going every which way. And now it's all down to safe hold after that quick exchange of kills. Snake and Brios left on the attack. Diffuser is in hands
Bomb
of the
located by
offense.
attackers.
Snake hold. I don't know if he has a lot of information. He knows that there's some players hanging out toward cash, and he hears the skeleton key also going off in the background. Seems to be the push coming in from Arial to Rise. And a bounce back round as they secure this one in the late stage.
Oh, what a shot by Brios. And I was getting a little worried about, again, that late round drone economy, the late round intel game as a whole, but was it a problem? It's going to be fixed for that round at least. And Chalk doing a fantastic job of working the trade game. Almost every kill after the very first entry pick that Aerial Rise has gone has been traded back. Chalk doing a great job of making sure that Aerial Rise does not run away with another man advantage like they did in that first initial defensive round with that 4v2. And again, it really is, whether it's on purpose, Chalk are a great team at putting themselves in a relatively good position going into the later halves of the round, whether it be the defense or the attack. They just have a great idea. This is a system not only that has been practiced, that they understand how it works. They understand how it benefits them individually and as a team as a whole.
Aerial Rise continuing to just keep themselves a little bit separated from Chalk. But once we get to this 2-round lead, that's when Chalk kind of claw one right back. They're gonna need to do more than that, obviously. But this is a big round. If it goes 6-3, surely there's not enough gas in the tank for Chalk. You got to remember they also just came off of a game versus Thrive. So really, this team does look like an exhausted team.
I think exhausted is the right word. Because, not only are you playing back-to-back games, but you're playing games against Aerial Rise and Thrive. We could say how much, they're the better teams. They're probably the top 2 teams. How does get the opening pick, though, onto Epic, who's had a very rough game here. But these are teams that are going to punish the mistakes of Chalk 10 times out of 10. And the lack of success on these opening picks continues. Snake will be down, but not out for now. He's going to require his team to revive him, but he's in such a difficult spot. I don't know if they can get him.
He's defying physics right now. Is he? Oh, no, he fell.
Okay,
he survived the fall. Oh, okay. That's called knocked parkour right there. That's essentially what they did in the office on that hardcore parkour episode. Especially after, wait, who's the dude who fell? Was it Michael that fell and got hurt, or was it? I don't know. Now I'm going off on an office tangent. Have you even seen the show?
It's been a very long time.
Okay, all right. Anyways, Chalk does have the advantage, and they could have had a 5-3 advantage, but Snake does some hardcore parkour and escapes with his life. But still, this is a massive round for Chalk to get back into this one. Smeek cuts down Brios. But hold on, in the background, Kiru just went massive, and whoa, wait a second. What's going on here? Kills are going each way. Kiru with the triple kill. And now Zur is left now to be the hero. Diffuser going down. See you later. Whoa. Hold on, folks. Hold on here. Zur's got 2. It's a 1v1. Diffuser down. He knows he's somewhere over towards Jim. But there's a little bit of a rotation coming from Inrio. He's made it all the way up that hallway. If he were to swing, he would completely catch Zur off guard. He thinks he's over towards site. He's trying to bait him. But Inrio is just holding his position. Zur, he seems to be very shaken up here. He knows how big this round is. Enrio, cool as a cucumber. User coming through. Is Enrio's, can he slow walk this? Does he see it? Clutch, calm, ice in his veins from Enrio. 6-3, match point. That got scary, though, for Arial right there at the end, Goose.
I really love how these last 4 rounds have turned into an absolute dogfight. We're just seeing, again, this plays into the overall play style of what Chalk is forcing, and they're forcing those late round gunfights, and we're just seeing players, entire rounds, won off of pure individual skill. If Kiru did not get those 3 opening picks, that entire round for Aerial Rise would have been shut down. And we're seeing a really good thing from Aerial Rise here. Sure, Snake is 12-6, but he's been a little bit slow on the entry and overall kill game in the past 3 rounds. We've had players like Kiru, Enrio, Brios, who've been making up in that department and pushing Aerial Arise further and further in round count, now finding themselves on what could be potentially the last round. Last time we saw Aerial Rise attack this basement bomb site, they had a 4v2 man advantage going into the execute, but lacked the intel,
10 seconds remaining.
giving the 2v4 clutch to CHAWK. This time around, it's a very big mistake, but a mistake that's relatively easy to fix.
Attackers are
Match
heading out to
point.
defuse a bomb.
Aerial Arise. From heartbreak on this map yesterday, 1 round away from undoing that previous map and going to 1-1. CHAWK. What did they? Oh my goodness! It is a battle inside the tunnels. Kiru's gonna find a first pick, and it looks like they're just gonna go say, "Hey, you know what? We're coming right on through." Once again, CHAWK is control of those main stairs. This time it's Safehold who's got the shotgun in hand, not HUD. Over towards those stairs. Now it's gonna be dropped to a 4v4. I thought we were gonna see utter chaos coming through dirt hole, but no, the tunnels is not gonna have anything crazy happen too much. But look at those the smoke canisters being popped. There's already 2 being used by HUD. A lot of pressure, and we're only at 2 minutes. And he used the last one.
CHAWK doing a great job of just checking the aggression of Aerial Arise, completely shutting them down and forcing them to go back to the drawing board, play a little bit more reserved, and start to work these hatches. Aerial Arise getting a little bit over-aggressive, overzealous, especially with the blitz, but they're going to fall off. They're going to work these hatches. They're going to continue to apply pressure, not hit the site too early without doing the work, the homework that they need to do before they actually put everything into focus. In Epic, he's here in dirt, awaiting the call, awaiting the push onto site, just waiting for his moment to strike.
I bet that a zombie barrier is like 1 HP, and as soon as the execute call comes through, he's gonna punch, run, and flash. 1-2 combo. But the vertical play coming through for Enrio. He does get the kill, but it was a little bit of a shaky shot. Doesn't matter in the end. They all count the same. But you can see there's so many eyes coming over towards this tunnel. They know that something's gonna happen. Gekyu's gonna have a lot of pressure in a couple of seconds here. Looks like a grenade goes through, and that's gonna open the way for Epic to maybe make a play. He's actually gonna slow this one down. No Akiba barrier coming out just yet for Gekyu. Oh, the Finka health boost, and surely that means the execute comes through. Enrio is on the backside of the splits, but do they note that there's a second player here? Gekyu is probably about to find out. Blasters are coming through. Here comes the execute. They're gonna get rid of the Azami. It's now a 4v2. Aerial Rise can win the game right here. Snake finds another kill. The diffuser's going down. Where are you, HUD? Your team needs you. Sneaking through Church. He has to break into sight, clutch the 1v3, get the defuse. The first player up, and it's a drop. 7-3 is our final score. Aerial Arise advance to 1-1 and CHAWK it. Go 0-2, and the double is a bad one for them today. A uphill battle for CHAWK it. They had to do a lot, not just in this series, the one before. And Aerial Arise, they figure out how they want to get that map done and respond after losing yesterday to Wildcard. And this Group B is starting to take shape, and we're starting to figure out who's who.
CHAWK will now fall 0-2. And as I talked about in the pre-show, all the way before their very first matchup on Cafe, they shouldn't hold their heads down too low. They faced what on paper are their 2 toughest opponents, and they took them to relatively good matches, going 7-5 against Thrive, and a very close 7-3 at that against Aerial Rise. But it's Aerial Rise to finally find their footing, finally find a win, and go into that. And this is exactly.
Oh, 100%. Aerial Rise, I love this win from these guys. They showed up, they showed out, they were able to get good executes, good defenses. That was a staple win from these guys. Folks, I know we've got more games coming your way tomorrow. SSG, Thrive, Aerial Arise, Makers, big names are going to be coming to the screen tomorrow. There's 5 games in total, just as always. It's Blix Game Series, and we love it. But Goose, you've been on all day, my friend. I bet you're exhausted. So everyone, had to get some sleep. We'll be back here tomorrow at the same time. It's the conclusion of day 2. But thank you guys. Actually, let's take a look at standings before I close. Because Group B, I think we want to take a look at that, right, Goose? Because Group B is really starting to take a bit of shape here.
Yeah, and even for, Group A also, SSG Academy, fluffy aimers ahead of everybody, getting their very first wins, and then Outlast and Mormon are going to take their place at the bottom. SSG Academy, Makers, fluffy aimers. This is exactly what we saw and predicted for the top 3. Mormon Battalion having a very rough form. Not going to win their first matchup either.
Yeah, I think Group A is kind of straightforward. I think the battle is really going to be between 4 and 5, and then maybe who finishes on top in that Group A. But Group A is pretty straightforward. As for Group B, though, that's really where I think this can start to open up. Thrive starts off with a great start, but Wildcard Aces, they're at 1-1. Aerial Arise 1-1. 7-7-4 coming in, throwing a little bit of a wrench into this mess. And Carnico, they went 0-7. I don't really know here. I'm curious. I don't know what. I guess the difference still gives CHAWK a better start, even though they're 0-2, -6 on their round count, and Carnico at -7. I think this was difficult to call, but Thrive should be in the top 3 if they can continue this form. But the rest of it, 2 through 5, should be a bit of a battle.
Yeah, and it is definitely going to be a battle. We'll continue to see that battle tomorrow. That will be all for tonight. We will see you all for Play Day 3 tomorrow. Have a great night.
Revolting.